And for more now, we're joined live by Ambassador Kurt Volker. He's the former U.S. ambassador to NATO and heads the McCain Institute at Arizona State University. Mr. Ambassador, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. Thanks
Appreciate you coming in. So, do you believe that the situation is on the brink of war right now?
Well, it's already a war.
All out
It's
war.
not the brink of war. It is war. I mean, you have Russian forces, troops, equipment, artillery operating inside Ukrainian territory, attacking Ukrainian military forces. This is a war.
Now, Russia says that, and has been saying all along, that they are not backing the rebels. They say there is no proof.
It's a lie. I mean,
how do we know it's a lie?
Of course Russia would say that, because why would they say the opposite? They want to communicate deniability. But when you see the troops,
who is backing Russia right now? Who is backing Russia right now in their claim that they are not part of this?
Well, no one is backing Russia, but plenty of countries are willing to give Russia the benefit of the doubt and hope that there is a negotiated way out of this, that somehow there's some kind of negotiation, that Russia stands down, the insurgent stands down, the Ukrainian government backs off a little bit, and this creates a resolution. But that's a fantasy, frankly. That Russia is deliberately inserting its forces into Ukraine and attacking the Ukrainian government, supporting insurgents that are there, and trying to create instability and break off territory. That's the reality that we see.
Now, we had a fellow in here last week, a professor teaching in Russia, and he said the sanctions there were not really evident, that people were going about their business as usual, and that there was no problem. Do you believe tougher sanctions now are going to have any impact at all? What will it take?
I think tougher sanctions are an important next step to take, but at the same time, I don't think that they will have an impact on Russian military behavior in the moment. For that, you need to have a military response, which is to say that the U.S., Europe need to support Ukraine, provide intelligence support, provide military support, trainers, advisors, equipment, and perhaps even reinforcements to help the Ukrainians so that they create a military standoff. And in that circumstance, the Russians may be willing to stand down. Sanctions will have a longer-term effect, and it's worth putting them in place because ultimately Russia will want to get out of those sanctions, but they're not going to have the short-term effect.
Some say the U.S. is meddling in other people's affairs when it comes to this. The EU, we understand. The EU, we understand why it has a stake in all of this. But why is the U.S. so concerned with this?
All right, let's start from meddling in other people's affairs. What is Russia doing? Russia is sending humanitarian, quote-unquote, humanitarian convoys into a neighboring country without that country's permission. Russia is allowing soldiers, troops, equipment to cross its border into Ukraine. Talk about meddling in another country's affairs. What the U.S. and Europe are talking about is trying to help the Ukrainians defend themselves against this kind of subversive invasion.
All righty, Kurt Volker, thank you so much. Mr. Ambassador, we appreciate your time and perspective as always.
My pleasure.